The air feels different right now. Not in a loud way, but like something beneath the surface is shifting in quiet certainty. August is not done shaping you. The days ahead still hold currents that can change where your life is heading. That's why, before anything else, we'll open with a powerful manifestation ritual. Because in moments like these, you don't just passively watch life happen, you work with it, and then we'll see what the cards reveal. 3 messages meant to move you instantly onto a truer path. Let's begin this journey together, with open hands and steady breath. Card 1, the Chariot. Life has been pulling you in 2 directions. Sometimes it feels like you've been living 2 lives, one that is safe and familiar, and one that keeps whispering to you from the edge of your awareness. The Chariot often appears when these 2 roads finally meet, forcing you to choose which will carry you forward. It's not about picking the easier one. It's about picking the one that aligns with the quiet truth in your chest. This moment has been building for longer than you think, and the pull is only getting stronger with each passing day. You may have felt distracted lately, as if your mind keeps replaying small, random memories from years ago. They're not random. They're your soul's way of reminding you what matters before you make this next choice. The Chariot doesn't promise comfort. It promises direction. And once you step onto that path, you'll move faster than you can imagine. That's why the hesitation you feel now isn't weakness. It's the weight of what you're about to claim. Every step from here will require focus. Not the kind that pushes people away, but the kind that draws you deeper into yourself. When the Chariot moves, it doesn't stop to explain its route to everyone watching. It knows where it's going, even if no one else understands. And perhaps that's the lesson for you. Not every decision in your life needs public approval. Sometimes, the sacred thing is to move silently. Some choices mark a before and after in your life. This could be one of them. And the strange thing is, you might not recognize it as monumental until months later. But by then, you'll already be far from where you started. Looking back and realizing the moment the Chariot appeared was the day you truly began. You're stronger. When you stop fighting yourself, there's a certain kind of tiredness that doesn't come from physical exhaustion. It comes from resisting your own truth. You've been there before, haven't you? Pushing down feelings, talking yourself out of dreams, convincing yourself to stay put when your soul wanted to run. The Chariot whispers that the fight with yourself has gone on long enough. You don't need to wrestle your own heart anymore. Imagine for a moment what it would feel like to simply agree with yourself, to stop questioning whether your desires are valid. The freedom of that thought is its own kind of strength. The Chariot thrives on this inner unity, because when both sides of you finally move in the same direction, nothing can scatter your momentum. It's like pulling both reins in perfect sync. Of course, self-agreement doesn't happen overnight. It's made of small decisions, the kind you make in quiet moments when no one is looking. Choosing not to answer a call you know will drain you, saying yes to something that lights you up even if it scares you. That's how you train the 2 sides of your nature to run together instead of apart. When you stop being your own obstacle, you start becoming your own champion. That's when the outside world notices the change without you having to announce it. People will feel it in the way you walk into a room, as if you've already arrived at a destination they can't quite see yet. Your next move will set the pace. The Chariot isn't just about moving forward, it's about setting the speed. Right now, the next decision you make will determine how the rest of this month unfolds for you. Move too slow, and you risk losing the momentum you've been quietly building. Move too fast without direction, and you may find yourself circling back to old ground. The balance is delicate. Think of it like steering a horse. You can't yank the reins and expect a smooth ride. You have to guide with a steady hand. The same applies here. This is not the moment for rushed choices made in the heat of emotion. It's the moment for intentional, measured steps that still carry the fire of urgency within them. That mix of patience and drive is what makes the chariot's journey unstoppable. Sometimes the right pace means slowing down just enough to read the signs around you. Pay attention to chance encounters, recurring numbers, or dreams that feel more vivid than usual. These aren't coincidences. They're the mile markers on your road. And if you miss them, you may lose the thread of where you're being guided. Your next move is more than a decision. It's a declaration to yourself and the universe. And once you make it, the road will rise to meet you in ways you can't yet imagine. You're ready to face what's been waiting. For weeks, maybe months, something has been sitting in the background of your life. A conversation you've been avoiding, a project you haven't started, a truth you've known but refused to name. The chariot doesn't let you dodge it any longer. Whatever it is, the moment you face it, the weight you've been carrying will shift instantly. There's a kind of magic in confrontation when it's done with calm certainty. You don't need to rush into battle or force a victory. All you need is to stand in front of what's been waiting and meet its eyes without flinching. That's when the energy changes, both inside you and in the world around you. You might be surprised to find that what you feared wasn't as unmovable as you thought. Often, the scariest things dissolve when you stop running from them. And here's the secret. Sometimes, what's waiting for you isn't a threat at all. It's an opportunity wearing the mask of fear. Once you face it, you'll wonder why you waited so long. And maybe, deep down, you'll realize you needed this exact moment. Not a day sooner, not a day later, for the meeting to truly change you. This is the month you claim the reins. The chariot in August isn't gentle, it's decisive. This is the time to pull the reins into your own hands, no matter how uneven the road may look ahead. Waiting for the perfect moment has kept too many dreams parked in the station. The road isn't going to smooth itself before you begin. When you claim the reins, you stop waiting for someone else to give permission. That act alone shifts your entire energy field. People will notice, opportunities will respond differently, and you'll find that doors you thought were locked have been waiting for you to knock. The thing about the chariot is that it doesn't care if the path is straight. It thrives in turns, in uphill climbs, in unexpected shortcuts. Once you begin, the ride itself becomes the reward. The courage to move despite uncertainty is what makes the journey sacred. At some point this month, you'll feel it. That quiet click inside, the moment you realize you've taken control. And from that point on, life will feel less like something happening to you and more like something you are steering into being. The chariot has already set the tone for the rest of August. Forward motion, inner unity, and the courage to claim your path. But momentum is only half the story. Because just beyond the rush of movement lies something more disruptive and more necessary. The next card doesn't come with gentle guidance. It comes to shake the ground under your feet, not to break you, but to free you from what you didn't realize was holding you still. And when it shows itself, you might understand why this journey couldn't start any other way. Card 2. The Empress. Your inner garden needs attention again. Life has been pulling you forward so quickly that you may have forgotten something important. Your inner garden doesn't grow just because time passes. It grows because you tend to it. The Empress reminds you that creation doesn't thrive in neglect. Even the most fertile soil will dry out if you never stop to water it. This isn't just about self-care in the trendy sense. It's about remembering the small rituals that feed your spirit. Reading in the early morning light, making a meal slowly instead of rushing, sitting in silence long enough to hear your own thoughts. These are the seeds you've been skipping, and without them, the road ahead can start to feel empty. When the Empress appears, she doesn't scold you for forgetting. She simply points to the ground and hands you the tools. This is the month to bring beauty back into your daily life, not as a luxury, but as a necessity. Because the truth is, you can't keep moving forward without replenishment. And here's the quiet truth. Your next season of abundance will only grow as deep as the roots you nurture now. That's why it's worth pausing to tend your garden before you run into the next field. Nurturing yourself is not a distraction. There's a strange guilt many people feel when they slow down to care for themselves, as if the world will fall apart if they take a moment to breathe. The Empress reminds you that nurturing isn't an escape from responsibility. It's the foundation that allows you to handle responsibility with strength. Think of the times in your life when you've been running on empty. You may have gotten things done, but it came with a cost, a dull ache in your spirit, a sense that life was more about survival than living. That's not what this month needs from you. The energy now asks for replenishment, for slowing down enough to gather the strength that will carry you further. This kind of nurturing can be as simple as giving yourself permission to enjoy something without a productive outcome. A slow walk, a quiet evening, even saying no to something that drains you. Every time you choose rest over overextension, you're building a stronger foundation for what's coming next. When you remember that caring for yourself is part of the work, not separate from it, life begins to feel less like a burden and more like something you're actively shaping with gentle, steady hands. You hold more power to attract than chase. There's a deep shift that happens when you stop running after what you want and instead create the kind of space that draws it to you. The Empress thrives in that space, the stillness where attraction happens naturally because you've built a life that feels magnetic. Think of it like a garden again. You don't chase the bees, you plant the flowers, and they arrive on their own. This is the same with opportunities, relationships, and abundance. When your energy is rooted and nourished, the right things start finding you without the exhausting chase. Of course, this requires trust, the kind of trust that feels risky because you're letting go of control. But the Empress reminds you that attraction isn't passive, it's active in its preparation. You prepare by becoming the kind of person who can hold what you desire without breaking under its weight. And when that shift happens, it feels different. Instead of running toward life with your hands outstretched, you stand still and watch as it begins running toward you. The comfort you crave can be built now. We often wait for comfort to come from the outside, from someone offering help, from a lucky break, from the right timing. But the Empress carries a quieter truth. The comfort you long for can start right now with what you have. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be intentional. This could mean rearranging your space so it feels more like a sanctuary. It could mean cooking the food that reminds you of home. It might even mean creating emotional comfort by reconnecting with someone who understands you deeply. The key is to stop postponing comfort as if it's a reward you only deserve later. Comfort isn't the enemy of growth. It's the ground from which growth becomes possible. When your nervous system feels safe, your creativity flows more freely, and you take braver risks because you know you have a place to land. And perhaps the most beautiful part The moment you start building your own comfort, you'll realize you were never as far from it as you thought. Creation energy is wrapping around you like a warm blanket. There's a special kind of season when the air itself feels ready to give birth to something new, and you're in one of those seasons now. The Empress doesn't just speak of creation, she surrounds you with it. You might find yourself having sudden ideas, feeling drawn to new projects, or simply noticing beauty more often. This isn't about forcing inspiration. It's about letting yourself receive it. That means slowing down enough to catch the moments when life is handing you raw material, a conversation, a memory, a sound, a texture, and realizing you can turn it into something meaningful. The warmth you feel in this energy isn't just comfort, it's a signal. Something inside you wants to be expressed, and it won't feel complete until you bring it into form. It could be as small as a rearranged room or as large as a new life chapter. But either way, it's asking to be born through you. And when you finally give it form, it will feel like coming home to a part of yourself you didn't even realize had been waiting in the dark. The Empress has wrapped you in her abundance, reminding you that nurturing and creating are as vital as moving forward. But creation, once it blooms, often calls for something deeper. A truth-telling moment where you look at your life and decide what stays and what must end. And that's where the next card steps in. It won't speak in soft tones. It will speak like a bell ringing through a quiet valley, a sound you can't unhear, a call you're meant to answer before August closes its final door. Card 3, Judgment. You're hearing a call you can't unhear. There are moments in life when something deep inside you begins to stir, not because of what is happening around you, but because something beyond you is reaching in. The Judgment card speaks of this stirring, a spiritual call that doesn't always sound like a voice, but you feel it as surely as your own heartbeat. It might be a recurring thought, a sudden memory, or an unshakable feeling that you are meant to be somewhere else, doing something different. You try to continue your day as if nothing has changed, but the awareness is now part of you. This call is rarely loud or dramatic. Often it comes in quiet moments, when the house is still before sunrise, or when you find yourself lost in thought while doing something ordinary. It seeps into the edges of your attention, gently pressing until you can't help but notice. And the more you notice, the harder it is to go back to pretending you didn't hear it. It doesn't demand immediate action, but it asks for acknowledgement. That small whisper is a doorway, and the longer you stand before it, the more you feel drawn to open it. Answering the call is not always comfortable. Sometimes it will require you to leave behind a familiar way of living, or to step into an unknown space without a clear plan. You may feel resistance rise up in you, the mind's instinct to cling to what feels safe. But deep down, another part of you knows that safety and growth rarely live in the same place. This is the paradox of judgment. To answer, you must be willing to transform. Even if you don't yet understand where the path leads, the act of saying, "I hear it," is enough to begin shifting your reality. The acknowledgement itself is a choice, one that allows the energy of the call to start guiding you. Like the faint pull of a current beneath the surface, it begins moving you toward a shore you cannot yet see, but already sense is waiting. And the truth is, the call never truly goes away. You can ignore it for weeks, months, even years, but it will return again and again until you are ready. Some doors in life can be closed forever, but the door of your higher calling has infinite patience. It will wait. The question is, will you? Past choices are whispering their lessons to you. When the Judgment card appears, it often brings with it a chorus of memories. These aren't random. They're the moments your soul wants you to revisit. Not to punish you, not to make you feel regret, but to help you see patterns you might have missed. Sometimes the lessons are subtle, hidden under layers of time. Other times, they are sharp and clear, cutting through your thoughts with undeniable truth. This is the season to listen to them closely, for they have ripened into wisdom. You might find yourself remembering a decision you made long ago, one you've often wondered about. At the time, it may have felt like a mistake. But now, with distance, you can see how it shaped you, how it carved out the strength or clarity you needed later. You may even find gratitude for experiences you once wished you could erase. This is the strange grace of life. What once felt like loss can later reveal itself as a hidden gift. Looking back honestly means noticing both what worked and what didn't. Patterns in relationships, careers, and choices will begin to stand out. Some will make you proud, others may make you pause. But here's the key. You are not being asked to judge yourself. You are being asked to understand yourself. This difference is vital because self-judgment closes doors, but self-understanding opens them. The past is not a weight unless you decide to carry it. Right now, you have the chance to set it down, to take the lessons and leave behind the heaviness. This process will not happen all at once. It's like clearing out a long-forgotten attic, dusty, slow, but revealing treasures you didn't know you had. Each lesson you uncover becomes a light for the path ahead. And perhaps the most beautiful realization of all is this: not a single step of your journey was wasted. Even the wrong turns were part of the map. You've been guided all along, even when you thought you were lost. This is the month for honest self-reflection. Self-reflection can feel like standing in front of a mirror you can't look away from. It shows you both the strength you've grown into and the places where you've been hiding from yourself. Judgment arrives as an invitation to look closely now, because the timing is aligned for deep clarity. What you see in this season has the power to change the rest of your path. But this mirror is not here to criticize you. It is here to reveal you. The process is rarely neat. You might notice old dreams that still live quietly inside you, waiting to be acknowledged. You might see fears you've been carrying for so long, they've become part of your identity. And you might recognize the ways you've shaped your life to fit expectations that were never truly yours. These realizations can feel uncomfortable, but they are the beginnings of freedom. Because once you see them, you can choose differently. Honest reflection doesn't mean tearing yourself apart. Imagine you are sitting with your younger self, the one who made choices without knowing what you know now. You wouldn't speak harshly to them. You'd offer understanding, compassion, and gentle guidance. That's the same energy you must bring to yourself now. This is how true change takes root. You may feel called to write, to meditate, to walk in nature, not to find quick answers, but to create space for your deeper self to speak. In that quiet space, truths that have been waiting patiently may finally surface. They might surprise you, or they might feel like something you've known all along, but hadn't dared to admit. And by the end of this month, you might realize something extraordinary. That the person you've been searching for was never missing. They were just buried under layers you are now ready to shed. A door you thought closed is opening quietly. Life has a way of surprising us with second chances. Sometimes, an opportunity you believed was gone forever starts to stir again, almost as if it had been waiting for you to grow into it. The judgment card tells us that certain doors don't close completely. They wait silently for the moment you're ready to step through. This could be a relationship, a passion, a dream, or even a version of yourself you thought was gone. And now, without fanfare, that door is shifting open. It won't always be obvious. You may not see a bold sign telling you to act. Instead, it might be a gentle encounter, an unexpected message, a chance meeting, or a small chain of events that draws you back to something you thought you'd left behind. The quiet nature of its return is not a weakness. It's an invitation for you to choose it with full awareness, not in haste. This time, you know more. You are more. Revisiting something from the past can stir up old fears. You might wonder, what if it fails again? But this is not the same story you once lived. You've changed, and the circumstances have changed with you. Judgment reminds you that the past is not repeating. It is being rewritten. The energy is not to relive old wounds, but to see what happens when you approach the same path with new strength. It's also worth remembering that not every reopened door is meant to be walked through. Sometimes its purpose is to show you how far you've come, to let you see that you no longer need what you once thought you couldn't live without. Whether you step through or simply smile and close it again, the power lies in your choice this time. There's a quiet magic in realizing that life remembers your dreams even when you set them aside. It's a kind of grace, and it's here for you now. And now, we've walked through the messages, felt their weight, and let them whisper into our hearts. But remember, this moment isn't the end of anything. It's a soft beginning. The cards were not just images on paper. They were mirrors, showing pieces of you that you've been ready to see. The energy around you right now, especially in these sacred full moon days, is ripe for release, renewal, and powerful manifestation. You might feel it like a quiet hum in your chest, or a sudden clarity in your mind. Don't ignore it. This is your time to step forward with gentle courage, to plant seeds of intention that the universe is already watering for you. I want you to hold on to what resonated the most today. Maybe it was a single line, or a feeling that lingered long after I spoke it. That's your thread. Follow it. Let it lead you to the places you've been dreaming about. You are not here by coincidence. You are here because your path is calling, and you answered. That matters. Before you go, I would love for you to press that like button if these messages felt like they were meant for you. Subscribe so you can walk with me again in the next reading, because there's more unfolding ahead, and I want you to be part of it. And if someone you love could use a little light tonight, share this with them. Until we meet again, keep trusting, keep dreaming, and let the magic of this full moon carry you to exactly where you need to be.